a mask? Now this is a mask. 2019 World Champions, baby. In mid-August, President Donald Trump tweeted out a picture of himself standing in front of Mount Rushmore, an image that made him look as though he was the 5th presidential bust on the iconic monument. Here's the tweet. You see what I mean? It kind of looks like he's right there, 5th head. Moments later, Trump tweeted out a sort of denial of a New York Times report that a White House aide said he had spoken with South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, a Republican, about the possibility of adding his own visage to those of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and yes, Abraham Lincoln. Tweeteth Trump, quote, "This is fake news by the failing New York Times and bad ratings CNN. Never suggested it, although based on all the many things accomplished during the first 3.5 years, perhaps more than any other presidency, sounds like a good idea to me," end quote. Trump says A, he has never raised the possibility with Noem of his face being added to Mount Rushmore, but B, he thinks it sounds like a pretty solid idea. All right, let's take the first point first. Trump has, in fact, raised the topic of Mount Rushmore and him with Noem, according to her, and she said he was quite serious about it. Quote, he said, "Kristi, come on over here, shake my hand," Noem told the Sioux Falls Argus leader about a meeting with Trump in the Oval Office, adding, quote, "I shook his hand and I said, Mr. President, you should come to South Dakota sometime. We have Mount Rushmore." And he goes, "Do you know it's my dream to have my face on Mount Rushmore?" I started laughing. He wasn't laughing, so he was totally serious, end quote. Then there's this from a Trump campaign rally in July 2017.
Every single president on Mount Rushmore. Now, here's what I do. I'd ask whether or not you think I will someday be on Mount Rushmore, but here's the problem. If I did it joking, totally joking, having fun, the fake news media will say, he believes he should be on Mount Rushmore. So I won't say it, okay?
Well, he did actually say it. And according to Noem, he's not joking. Remember that Trump always uses the "I'm just joking and you media stiffs don't get it" explanation whenever he says something that A, he means, or B, he wants to give himself the ability to walk away from. But in almost all of these cases, he's not joking. And don't take my word for it. Again, take Noem's. This is from the Times story. Quote, "In private, the efforts to charm Mr. Trump were more pointed," according to a person familiar with the episode. Ms. Noem greeted him with a 4-foot replica of Mount Rushmore that included a 5th presidential likeness. His, end quote. So the South Dakota governor had a Mount Rushmore replica made with Trump's face on it. Repeat, she had a Mount Rushmore replica made with Trump's face on it. Is that the sort of thing you would do if you thought the President of the United States was getting around about wanting to be on Mount Rushmore? I don't think so. Especially after you had a conversation with him about his dream of being added to Mount Rushmore, a conversation you told the media was, quote, totally serious. Now, let's consider a few things we already know about Donald Trump. Fact 1, he's a real estate guy who believes that the way you stay relevant and ensure you are remembered is to put your name or face on everything you can. Fact 2, he's repeatedly said that he is up there with the best presidents ever. Watch this.
Like I said, I'm the most presidential except for possibly Abe Lincoln when he wore the hat. That was tough to do.
And then there was this speech at the United Nations in 2018 when Trump said that
My administration has accomplished more than almost any administration in the history of our country.
Okay, now ask yourself this. Is there any chance that Donald Trump was anything but deadly serious when he told Noem he wanted to be on Mount Rushmore? And that if there was any way it could be made to happen, that he would jump at the chance? Sidebar. There is, in fact, no more room for Trump or any other presidential head on Mount Rushmore. Quote, "There is no more carvable space up on the sculpture." Maureen McGee Ballinger, a public information officer at Mount Rushmore, told the Argus leader in 2018, adding, "When you are looking on the sculpture, it appears there might be some space on the left next to Washington or right next to Lincoln. You're either looking at the rock that is beyond the sculpture on the right, which is an optical illusion, or on the left, that is not carvable," end quote. So that's that end sidebar. Now, of course, there are other mountains. I kid, but not Totally. From his reported interest in buying Greenland to his push for a military parade in the streets of downtown Washington, Donald Trump has attempted, or at least considered, doing things that other presidents just, well, don't do. Given all that history, you'd be crazy to think Trump might not look seriously into getting his face carved into a mountain somewhere in America. Plus, when Noam met with Trump in the Oval Office, she jokingly told him to, quote, come pick out a mountain, end quote, which he just might do. And that is the point. We make New Point episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. Be sure to check them all out.